So, so the first question is, so how do you think the pandemic has affected your students so far, learning wise?
Ooh. Um, I will say that in March when it first hit, it was a shock to everyone. So everyone was just, we were all kind of scrambling, trying to figure it out, trying to see who had, access to a computer, a laptop. We had students logging on their phones, phone screens were broken. So it was really just a scramble from like March to June. It was kind of like, let's just keep y'all as involved as possible. Let's do our very best, but it was definitely was not perfect.
Yeah.
It affected them in a big way because I was working with eighth graders at the time, and I was actually running all of the eighth grade planning for their entire graduation, from the luncheon to the setup for picture day. So that affected them a lot because I had eighth graders and that was not how they anticipated their school year wrapping up. They were very hurt, and I just tried to do my best to keep them as involved as possible. So we had to plan a drive-by graduation and stuff like that. Once we came into this school year, it transitioned a little better because we were able to prepare. We were able to, seek out those necessary resources that we needed electronically. We were able to find out which students didn't have laptops. We were able to try to figure it out a little bit better. My main concern currently, and I have some amazing freshmen, I just want to say that they actually just won there was a competition going on between the freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors as far as attendance goes, and my babies won the September, attendance. So they are doing an amazing job. I literally have between 85 and 95% of my students in my classes at all times. They are very active, they are engaged, but I believe that's because they know how much I care. And that probably is my main concern. How much are we adhering to the social emotional needs of these students right now that have had their life snatched away? Their peers are not close. They're at home now. And sometimes, as you mentioned earlier, that home life isn't, always, comfortable for them. They kind of need to be out. So I would say my main concern is to make sure that they're doing okay. And I check on them every day. Of course, we can get the literature out, the content out, get the curriculum out to them to make sure they're doing what they need to do. But as we know from Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that if we're not satisfying the very basics, the very bottom level, of what these students need and what is on their hearts and their minds, it doesn't matter really what we say or do, when it relates to any other subject area, they're not going to be able to focus. So my goal and my main concern as to how it has changed is that a lot of them are just really missing that social interaction, that peer-to-peer interaction, and that's what my concern is mainly.
Right. So if there are any, what do you think are some of the benefits or some of the positives that some of these kids may have during this time?
I think that, and I always give them kudos for this. I say you all are really champions in your own field and in your own vessels. Like there is not another time in life that this has really happened to this level, like where you are experiencing everything at one time. They are not just going through COVID and having to be online. They are going through riots, and we have the presidential situation, and we have Black Lives Matter, and like it's just so much, and that's aside from whatever is going on in their own life, and so I told them that they have a huge responsibility and that they are far beyond what I ever was when I was a freshman in high school. I said that you are going to grow up with and you are learning key responsibility characteristics. Like the strength that you are embodying right now is going to be a benefit to you as you move forward in life, because you're going to be able to handle things at a level that some people won't be able to. So the fact that they're being so responsible, logging on to class at certain times, completing assignments, being respectful in class. I have not had to write one demerit. My class is so respectful, just everything that they're learning now. I feel is a benefit. The fact that they're, figuring out what's going on with technology, because this isn't going to stop. It's just going to keep continuing. So I just really feel like at first when we all started, include myself, like, what is going on with technology? I got to make a Google form. I have to do what in Google Classroom? What is this I have to do? You know what I mean? So we're all growing, but I'm just really proud of them for being able to take this head on and face this big fear, you know, that they have with, you know, trying to communicate and this being the only way. So I think the benefit is that in the future, because it's so technology driven, and to me, that's the way that the world is anyway, because they always have these in their hands anyway.
Yes,
I think it's going to be huge for them to, I think it's just really building their character. I think it's building their disposition. I think they're going to be really strong individuals because of what they're going through, and be problem solvers instead of, you know, trying to sit in the problem, but trying to figure out how can we resolve this? How can we make the best out of the situation? You know, and I think they also really have learned to appreciate time and their instructors and their families. And whereas before, you know, I would have had an issue with a student, you know, maybe getting smart or saying something, like I haven't run into that at all. Right. And I just think they appreciate things at a different level. So I think some of the things that we've learned, you know, I think they're learning the same things. So I'm really proud about that with them as it relates to them.